everyone, welcome to Lefko's Lesser Game of the Month. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, Lefko, what the Doodle Dapper is Lesser Game of the Month? Let me explain. If you don't know what Lesser Game of the Month is, you haven't been checking out the PlayTheNES.com forums. The Lesser Game of the Month and also the NES Game of the Month is going to be a feature I'm going to be doing to where we're going to check out an NES game and any other game. It's going to be featured in the monthly special. This month we're checking out Dragon Spirit for the Turbografx-16. First thing you notice, the cover art. The Turbografx never had really good cover art for many other games, which is really unfortunate because this system don't have a lot of bad games. It's mostly really good games in this thing. If you've never checked out a Turbografx, you really need to check one out. Opening the game here. The Turbografx-16 games came on what's called hue cards, which instead of a cartridge, it's about a credit card sized game, maybe about twice as thick as a credit card, and it more or less loads up your game in this little card. It's actually really cool. I'm really surprised that no other game companies tried out the hue card idea during their time, other than Turbografx and Sega with their Master System. So let's check the game out. Alright, let's get this one started. Dragon Spirit is a top-down shooter. You may be familiar with it from the arcade game or the NES game of the same name. The Turbografx-16 version, the first thing that's immediately noticeable are the enhanced graphics. The graphics in this one are a lot better than the original NES title. Now, as you can see, you've got two main attacks for firing. You've got a downward attack and a forward attack. You cannot use both of these at the same time. You're stuck either using one or the other. Another thing to notice is that the shooter isn't quite one of the easier shooters out there, and most shooters aren't very easy. This one actually has some tough parts to it. One thing is that your sprite is massive for a shooter game, which means that the target box for you to take a hit is pretty large. Some of the upgrades are really cool, though. You can upgrade your dragon to a 2- or 3-headed dragon, and whenever you gain another head, of course, you also gain another level of attack because you fire through any head that you have on your dragon. The only problem with this is if you take one solitary hit, you're going to lose that extra hit. However, this shooter does at least allow you to take multiple hits, whereas a lot of the shooters out there don't allow you to take hits at all. As you see, I just took one. I had 3 heads for a short period of time there, and the guy barely grazed me, and I managed to go down. However, one nice thing, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see the fire up there. You do manage to keep your fire power-ups after you get hit, which is pretty nice, which more or less increases the power of your firepower. This is a really fun game. If you have a Turbografx-16, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's one of the cheaper games out there for the Turbografx, considering that a lot of the Turbografx-16 games are fairly high. If you don't have a Turbografx-16, you can always emulate it on your PC. You can also grab this game on the NES, although the level structure is different on the NES version than the Turbografx-16. Or if you want to play the arcade version, load up your version to MAME. That'll be it for Lesser Game of the Month. We'll see you next month for another game on any system other than the NES. See you next game.